Hello everyone, welcome back to Touch the Fire Twice. I'm Joshua, and I'm here today to do an in-depth sniff and comparison review of the recently launched Nest New York Santorini Olive and Citron fragrance. But first, if you are new to Touch the Fire Twice, welcome. My mission here is to share my love and passion for fine home fragrance as an enthusiast, an educator, a reviewer, to inspire you to increase your own fragrance knowledge and understanding, ultimately enhancing the scent memories that you create. If you want to learn more about what I do, why I do it, how I do it, you can check out my website at TouchTheFireTwice.com, as well as follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, both at Touch the Fire Twice. But for now, let's get into the Santorini Olive Leaf and Citron candle. So first up, thank you to Nest for sending me a few products from this collection. As always, these thoughts are my own. I was not asked to review this. I was certainly not asked to give a positive review on this. They sent this to me, sort of gifted it, and if I wanted to review, of course, I'm sure they appreciate that, but I was not asked nor compensated to do that in order to receive these products. In fact, they showed up at my house unexpectedly, so that was a nice surprise. But as always, if and when I receive products from companies and I choose to review them, you're getting my straightforward, authentic, true insights, opinions, feelings, and thoughts on the product. As you've seen in all of my reviews, whether vast majority purchased on my own or some sent to me, I always seek and look for the good, but I don't hide nor shy away from any of the negatives. So the primary product I'm reviewing today is this 3-wick specialty candle, a 21.2 ounce candle that burns for approximately 75 to 100 hours and retails for $80. As you can see, it comes in this really nice recyclable cardboard box with a good foam base in there to ensure that the candle is protected during shipping and or storage. So right off the top, I will talk quickly about the other products that are offered in this fragrance. There is this 21.2 ounce 3-wick specialty candle with this really pretty watercolor illustration that is actually printed directly onto the vessel. It's not one of those, Bath & Body Works or Homeworks wraparound labels that is shrink wrapped that you could kind of flick and peel off. This is printed directly onto the glass and feels very luxe because of that. And they also offer this in their traditional 3-wick candle, which is just with the frosted glass with the pinstripes. That is still the 21.2 ounce, retails for $78. It comes in their 8.1 ounce classic single wick candle, their 2 ounce votive candle, and also in their reed diffusers. As always with my in-depth sniff and comparison reviews, I will talk about the scent story that the brand shares. I'll get my nose on it, tell you my impression about it. We'll talk about the performance because this is a post-burn review, so it's very important. The wick, the wax, the strength, the throw, the performance, how it actually performs to get those fragrance molecules up in the air and into your nose. Because this is a fine home fragrance, I want to dig a little deeper into the notes. They only list 3 or 4 notes here as their key notes, but we can talk about exactly what they are, where they're from, how they're used in fine fragrance, and what we can expect to smell within them. And then because this is an in-depth sniff and comparison review, I'll take it a step further, and I actually have 5 candles here that you likely have smelled before in the past, or at least 1 or 2 of them, that are a mix, actually, I'll give the headline here, of Bath & Body Works, Slack & Co., and Homeworks candles, to do the comparison of, okay, the lemon zest in this reminds me of the lemon zest in this other candle, or this other candle has some notes that are similar, but it doesn't actually smell like this, and to try to help you build the fragrance in your own mind's eye, mind's nose, to understand if this is something you might like, to give you not just my opinion on it of what I think, but really trying to understand exactly what it does in fact smell like. So first, the scent story from the brand. They say, indulge in the splendors of the Greek islands with notes of fresh lemon zest and Mediterranean olive leaf, blended with creamy avocado and hints of black pepper. Right off the bat, I was expecting something that was obviously a bit zesty, citrusy, but countered with something either green or herbal or vegetal, which really is a nice blend. It's not just some free tropical drink or hot summer floral. It's going to be a little bit different than that and more kind of in my wheelhouse because I love aromatic, fresh fragrances. I can appreciate truly all fragrance families, all scent notes, but I do love sort of the fresh, aromatic, herbal citruses. And so the notes we're expecting in this: lemon zest, olive leaf, citron, black pepper, and avocado. Getting my nose on it, it really is this sharp, bright, dry, hot citrus. It's not juicy. It smells like a very natural lemon, an authentic lemon. It is not like a cleaner lemon. It's not like candied lemon. It's not sweet. There's almost a sense of like the sour lemon fragrance, or even like a preserved lemon. There's almost like a saltiness. Think sort of your oceanic candles that have some of that sea salt aspect or accord to it. There's almost a bit of that, but in my mind, it's not so much, the ocean air, the sea spray, though Santorini, right on the coast of Greece, but almost like you took these citron or lemon rinds and preserved them in salt And so there's a bit of a sour saltiness to this lemon. There's also, though, a spicy, bright, kind of airy quality. Leans borderline aquatic, almost like an ozonic sharpness. Kind of the airiness that you can get from, bergamot or eucalyptus, though I don't necessarily think that either of those are in here because I'm not getting the other aspects that I would typically expect from those notes. There really is a vegetal green aspect to this. Not quite astringent. Herbal, yes. Not intensely herbal though, but certainly green. Almost perhaps a bit of like a warm green geranium floral in the background. They don't call out any florals at all, but I would imagine there are more than just the 4 notes they give us. And so I think there's gotta be some sort of blossom or floral, and I could very much see it be a little bit sharp, almost metallic. And then that is all countered with an earthy, creamy base that really brings a soft roundness to this otherwise bright, sharp, natural citron and olive leaf fragrance. It's really nice. It was kind of unexpected because I wasn't sure, you think olive, is it going to be smelling like olive oil, a little bit peppery, a little bit green? Is it going to smell like actual, the fruit, the meat of an olive, which can, smell and taste a million different ways depending on how they're processed and what type of olives they are. And avocado, not really much of a scent to avocado. We'll get deeper into that in the notes, but what would that bring to a fragrance? Because it's not typically used commonly in fine fragrance. But it really all plays together in bright, hot, dry citrus, like the dry sun beating down on you. Not a humid, sort of tropical fragrance, but a dry, hot, breezy day. That airy, spicy quality, vegetal green, earthy, creamy, soft and round. So you have the sharp, high brights and sour, but blended with this airy, soft, creamy base that is just really very, very well balanced. Getting into the performance, really healthy performance. So as you can see here, this burned quite well. As wide as this is, because it is a 3-wick, did not require any babying, didn't require a foil cover. I did burn it primarily in a hurricane, which of course helps, but doesn't always prevent issues with candles. This one did not have any issues pulling out within, I'd say probably 1 to no more than 2 hours to get that full pull, which is really nice. Pretty common with Nest. The throw, also quite healthy. I'd say it's a medium strong, a good 7.5. Projection, medium. Didn't travel quite as far. Totally healthy projection throughout my main level. It's just sometimes with Nest, they can be crossing levels in the home. This one stayed primarily on the first level, but really healthy strength, throw, and projection there. And again, I've had no issues with the burn. Now let's dig into the notes. So lemon zest, we know lemon zest, I think everyone has tasted, smelled, cooked with lemon. So it's gonna be astringent, sweet, sour, it can be bright, cheerful, and vibrant. Typically to a fragrance, lemon zest will deliver energy, brightness, clarity, and refreshment, like sparkling sweet sunshine. Now citron is the name of the candle. They call it lemon zest in the notes, but I'm assuming that there actually may be citron, citrus in here as opposed to lemon, perhaps both. But when it comes to that, citron is actually French for lemon, but it is known as citrus medica or oil of cedrat, which comes from the skin of this bright, dry, large citrus fruit that is fragrant but inedible due to its extremely thick rind and little to sometimes no pulp or juice. It's actually considered kind of the grandfather of lemons that we know today because it is one of the original citrus fruits of which all citrus fruits that we know have come from. Moving on to olive leaf. So again, we're not talking the branches, we're not talking the meat of the fruit, we're talking about the olive leaves. Olive leaves are going to be astringent, a bitter green scent, vegetal, herbal. Some sources even say a bit smoky. I don't get that in here. I have not crushed olive leaves in my hand to know that for sure, but that's what some research has shown me. And then creamy avocado. So avocados are going to be this oily, green vegetal scent. They're sometimes slightly sweet, a bit nutty, really creamy and buttery, while also being somewhat earthy and kind of grassy. So the vegetal, not so much your herbal or, bright, sharp, astringent, but your earthy, vegetal, grassy with this super fatty flesh, which is going to give you that nutty, buttery, supremely creamy aspect, which is interesting and odd to translate into home fragrance. I'm assuming it's either an accord of other notes or sort of that fantasy fragrance, in that I don't know that they actually take essential oil from avocados. They very well could. Avocado oil is used in cooking, but I don't know if that's what is actually in fine fragrance. If anyone does know out there, please do let me know. But I'm assuming when they note creamy avocado in here, it's not so much just the oil itself, which can be green and vegetal, but that creaminess, that butteriness is likely from some other accord of fragrances. And then finally, black peppercorns. So black peppercorns are hot, fresh, tingly to the nose to sniff. Black pepper is the most widely used spice on the planet. It's surprisingly complex. There's that burst of heat, fresh, sometimes a bit woody, and it blends well with aromatics and certainly citrus, which we get a heavy dose of with the citron and lemon zest in this fragrance. So overall, I really enjoy it. Again, it is this balance of bright, hot, sour, fresh citrus, the green airiness in the middle, likely from that olive leaf. Some of that sharp, spicy airiness could also be from that black pepper. And of course, that depth, that earthy, creamy, round softness is coming from that avocado. Now, getting into my comparison section of the review, again, I've got 5 fragrances to compare it to, just to say it's like this, it's not like that, to get the build going a little bit in your mind's nose. So first up, I'll compare it to the Homeworks by Slacken & Co. Lemon and Laurel Leaf, which actually was released this year as Amalfi Coast. So still Mediterranean-esque region. So Amalfi Coast is going to be the western coast of Italy. We're talking about 900 miles east towards Greece to get to Santorini. So not exactly the same region, but not super far off. And some of these notes are a little similar. So the Homeworks candle has notes of garden fresh lemon, bay laurel leaf, yuzu, and honeyed grapefruit. Getting my nose on this one. So if you know this one, or of course Amalfi Coast, which is a confirmed repackage of lemon and laurel leaf. The lemon and laurel leaf is a brighter, zestier, more, let's say, cleaner style lemon. A little bit more of the juice, almost a kind of a sugared zest. Not super sweet, still natural, but heavier on a straightforward, obvious lemon. Whereas the lemon in here, I think a lot of folks would call it a citrus, but wouldn't specifically say, oh, for sure that's lemon, which is, I think, why it is actually Citron, which just adds a little bit more of nuance to it than a straightforward lemon. There's some similarities as far as, I would say, the green herbal aspects of the lemon and laurel leaf. Of course, thanks to the bay laurel leaf, of course, bay leaves. I think most of us know and probably have those in our spice cabinets. Yuzu is also in here, which is a slightly more fragrant, almost floral-esque citrus, and honeyed grapefruit, that bitter, bright citrus with a little bit of sweetness to it with a honeyed variation. I would say if you like this, there's a good chance you'll like the Santorini Olive and Citron, but there's a lot more going on in the Nest candle where there is that bit of the spicy heat from the black pepper and the entire creamy, warm base, that nuttiness that you're getting from the avocado is entirely absent in here. Again, not part of the notes. So that is the primary difference between these two. But when it comes to a fragrance that is a fresh lemon with an herbal edge, they are similar in that case where you could like both of them. I enjoy both of them. I prefer the Santorini Olive and Citron just because there's more complexity to it. Then we'll go to 2 candles that by name, I wanted to at least get my nose on to say, hey, are they at all similar? But by notes and fragrance, not so much. First up is a Bath & Body Works candle from early 2013. This was right after the Slacken & Co. partnership ended, I believe. This was Sea to Santorini, Blue Water, and White Sails from a very large destinations collection. Notes on this one, a refreshing mixture of neroli blossoms, seawater, and sparkling orange inspired by a day of island hopping, ready for an amazing odyssey. Neroli, seawater, orange, other than the citrus, not much similarity in the notes there. And they really are not similar. This is actually nice. There's a similarity in like the hot, bright, dry citrus across these, almost a powderiness. This is interesting. It's almost like if you take this with some of the Homeworks, they're getting a little bit closer to the Santorini Olive and Citron. Then another Bath & Body Works Destinations collection from later that year in 2013 called The Greek Isles, Fresh Figs in Paradise. Notes are an epic blend of fresh figs, green cypress, and juicy melon, takes you on a Greek Isle getaway. Now, I love fig fragrances. Super, super common when you're thinking Mediterranean, coastal, Greek scents or fragrances. This one, because it is 10 years old, I actually never burned it. 10 years old, the scent's a little bit off, but it does lean into that sort of green, powdery fig fragrance. Again, a hot day. At least they're going hot, hot, hot. We're getting that really hot, not so humid, but that airy, hot heat that I imagine you'll feel on the coast of Greece. Not similar. As expected, there's no fig note listed here. I would like to believe I would trust my nose if there were sort of a fig note in here unlisted, because it is so classic and usually, I believe, fairly obvious when there's a fig note in fragrance. I don't get any from the Santorini Olive and Citron, whereas I do in the Greek Isles. And then the final two where we're getting a little closer to some similarities here. Those ones, again, were mostly on name. I wanted to compare since they're all supposed to be fragrances that evoke the coast of Greece. But I do get some similarities with this beach grass candle from Bath & Body Works. This originally came out in 2012 when Slatkin & Co. was in partnership with Bath & Body Works. Notes of morning dew, rain-soaked greens, and white freesia. I always loved this fragrance. I wish this would come back at Bath & Body Works. It's a soft, to me it's warm, not hot. It could be a coastal beach that's a bit cool, almost think, the Northeast, like Provincetown, Cape Cod area. It's fairly sweet. I'm assuming from the white freesia and other unlisted notes in here. Almost borderline fruity, but just a very, very sweet, soft, innocent floral with a bit of that grassy, not quite into your vetiver, not quite into super vegetal, not herbal, but kind of that aquatic, almost lotus, a soft, dewy floral that is beachy, not springy dew. Beautiful. And the only real similarity I get in these is that sort of the softness, that creamy base that I get is shared across them. There's really not much of any citrus in the beach grass, but that earthy, green, vegetal note. Maybe the olive leaf is similar to whatever the rain-soaked greens are in here. And this could be borderline aquatic, kind of coastal, whereas this feels very aquatic and, again, actually dewy and wet. And then finally, the one that I think this is maybe most similar to, alongside the lemon and laurel leaf, maybe a combo of the two, is actually juniper and gin from Bath & Body Works. This was released in late 2022 with notes of juniper berries, chilled gin, and freshly squeezed lime. Now, I did do an in-depth sniff comparison review of this one alongside Sweet Whiskey, which you can view here in 2022. And in this, there really isn't a super heavy hit of juniper berries. Juniper berries and gin, I mean, as I say in that video, gin can be any aromatic, any spice added to this straightforward alcohol. Most commonly, one of the primary flavorings in gin is going to be juniper berries, which I went into in depth in that video. A little bit of that earthy, somewhat piney fragrance. Not a whole lot of lime in here. What feels very similar to me in these two? By no means duplicate, by no means are they the same, but if you like the style of one, I think you would like the style of the other. There is a brightness, so let's call it some citrus, whether it's a yuzu or the lime or a bergamot in the juniper and gin candle. There's also an earthy, round, soft, borderline green herbal note to it, which is similar in execution to the citrus blended with a soft, round, herbal, vegetal, not quite grassy, fresh cut grass, but I'd still say grassy note. And so in that sense, there are some similarities. Earthy, but not dirty, like natural. And there's a creaminess to this that is similar to the creaminess with the avocado. I wish I knew if there are any fragrance, true experts out there that can talk through like what makes something earthy, but also has a round sort of creaminess to it that softens everything. Might be synthetics, I don't know. But these are sister scents in one way, where the notes, swap out, this note for that note. But again, the way they're executed, sort of the overall fragrance family of that fresh aromatic with some citrus and some earthiness and some green is similar across these two. Again, put a little bit of the lemon and laurel leaf with the juniper and gin, mix those together, and you've got a fragrance that is similar in line with the type of fragrance you're going to get from the Santorini Olive and Citron. So that wraps up my in-depth sniff and comparison review of the Nest New York Santorini Olive and Citron. Please let me know if you have any questions about this or if you have sniffed this. I'd love to hear your thoughts or opinions on that one. That's it for today, and until next time, take care.